A lot of times in an encounter, one of the best things that you can do is try to control the battlefield and control your opponents. And we've been using the playthroughs lately in order to kind of cover some of the athletics based things that you can do in order to get this control. And the one I'd like to go over today is Grapple. Grapple really allows you to control an opponent and really make their actions hard for them to do. All that being said, my name is Don. I'm trying to be the Sly Strategist, and let's go ahead and get into it. Now, the grab condition really helps you out because it forces the person who is grabbed to do a DC check, a DC 5 check, in order to even perform an action, as well as makes them off guard and immobile. And it does allow you to really control what they can and can't do. If they don't hit that DC check, they can pretty much do nothing. It's really a great action. Let's kind of cover exactly what the grapple action is. Now, grapple is a single action. It does have the attack trait. So, kind of like with a lot of these other untrained athletic skills, you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to where you are in your multiple attack penalty. The requirements are you have at least one free hand and your target is no more than one size larger than you. Now, you can mitigate this a little bit by having either a grapple weapon or having one of the feats like Titan Wrestler that allows you to grapple someone who is more than one size larger than you. You attempt to grab a creature or object with your free hand. Attempt an athletics check against the target's fortitude DC. You can grapple a target you already have grabbed or restrained without having a hand free. And basically, what that means is once you already have someone grabbed, then you have to maintain that grab. And at that point, you don't need to have a hand free in order to maintain that grab. Now, on a critical success, your target is restrained until the end of your next turn unless you move or your target escapes. On a success, your target is grabbed until the end of your next turn unless you move or your target escapes as well. On a failure, you fail to grab your target. And if you already had the target grabbed or restrained using a grapple, then those conditions on the target end. So at that point, you would no longer sustain the grapple. And on a critical failure, if you already had the target grabbed or restrained, just like in a failure, it breaks free. Then your target can either grab you as if it had succeeded at using the grapple action against you or force you to fall and land prone. So they have a choice when that happens. So it really is a great action that you can do in order to really try and help your party out. But on a critical failure, it can kind of put you in a precarious position. Now, one thing that you can do in order to once again mitigate that free hand thing is get a weapon with the grapple trait. The grapple trait reads, you can use this weapon to grapple with the athletic skill, even if you don't have a free hand. This uses the weapon's reach, if different from your own, and adds the weapon's item bonus to attack rolls as an item bonus to the athletics check. So, once again, this is one way that you can use reach with these untrained athletics actions that you can do and use whatever item bonus that a weapon can have in order to assist you on the athletics check. Now, if you critically fail a check to grapple when using the weapon, you can then drop the weapon to take the effects of a failure instead of having the critical failure, which in this case, if you remember from what we were saying before, that the target can either grab you as if it succeeded or force you to fall and land prone. So you can just drop the weapon. Now, all this being mentioned, let's go ahead and move into an actual playthrough of what a grapple would look like. Now, grapple is a weapons trait that is a little bit hard to find, so I thought I'd go ahead and bring this up really quick and kind of show you a quick way to find which weapons have which traits. So what I like to do is go to Archives of Nethys and just type in grapple. Then you'll see a trait. So what you can do is if you click on that particular trait, it'll take you directly to a description of what the weapon's trait is, what type of unarmed attacks could possibly do it, as well as what weapons also have the grapple trait. Now, there aren't very many for grapple, unlike it was for shove or some of those type things. There is a combat grapnel, a fang wire, and then the one I really wanted to use was a gill hook because not only does it have the grapple trait, but it also has the reach trait. So in order to do that, because it had the Azarnketi trait, that means we kind of had to have some Azarnketi opponents. So let's go ahead and move to Foundry. So we have our Foundry setup kind of going. We have two Azarn-Keti ruffians against our party on an island outside of one of their temples at night. I just thought that was good atmosphere, so I created a new map for it. However, we have our well-behaved Azarn-Keti ruffian going first. Now, we'll bring that character up, and then you can see in their inventory that they have a +1 striking gill hook, and that +1 striking gill hook does have the grapple trait as well as the reach trait. Since it's also a +1 striking, you will also be able to use that +1 on their athletics check. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a grapple. So now it's the Azarn-Keti ruffian's turn, and he is going to try to grapple Crag. So we'll go ahead and target Crag and then go to our actions and hit grapple. Now, the ruffian has to do an athletics check against the target's Fortitude DC. And it was a success. Because it is a success, he can go ahead and grab Crag, and Crag now has the grabbed effect, as well as is off guard and immobilized. Now, because we have that +1 striking gill hook, we also have reach as well as grapple. So we're going to go ahead and use that reach when he tries to attack Anseal. So we'll go ahead and go to his actions and hit grapple. So now the ruffian gets to do an athletics check against Anseal's Fortitude DC. And it was a success. Because of the success, the opponent is now grabbed. Because he's grabbed, he is also off guard once again and immobilized. Now, I hope you enjoyed that playthrough of the Grapple Untrained Athletics action. It really is good for battlefield and opponent control. It allows you to basically take someone out of the combat, provided that you have a really good athletic score and you can beat their Fortitude DC. It is something that is super helpful for your party. So I do hope you like this video. And if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, or hit that notification bell. But whatever you do, I hope you have a great day and happy adventuring. Thanks.